Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I just recorded a Champions League round of 16 prediction video, but now in this video I'm going to be going over all the Europa League matchups that are coming up. Each matchup involved is with a team that finished third in their Champions League group, and then a team that finished second in their Europa League group. Lots of interesting matchups, and honestly I'm very glad I waited this long to record this video because a lot of interesting transfers have happened, and a lot of progression for all these clubs to happen as well. So yeah, lots of these predictions would be totally different if I recorded them right when the draw happened. But as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's jump straight into it, starting off with Dortmund versus Rangers. Now, Dortmund are probably the favorites for many people in this. They obviously have a very top-notch squad, but I think this is a very good test for Rangers. As you know, they did pretty well in Europa League, even with that Steven Gerrard exit transition that they had to face. And although Dortmund are second in Bundesliga, they have been having some questionable results lately. They recently lost 5-2 against Bayer Leverkusen, and they got knocked to the German Cup by St. Pauli, a club that isn't even in the Bundesliga. I still think Rangers are a team that have a lot of potential, though, to make this interesting. I'm still going for Dortmund, but I think it's going to be close. I see it being a high-scoring battle, Dortmund winning the first leg 4-2, and then on the second leg in Scotland, I think Rangers could pull off a draw 2-2. Dortmund's still going through at the end, but yeah, anything can happen. I won't really be surprised if I'm wrong, honestly. Rangers can easily impress me, but I feel like Dortmund still got it, even with their slip-ups lately. Next up, Zenit versus Real Betis. It's hard to judge Zenit. I mean, obviously, they just lost the Iranian Azmoun. Real Betis, this side is sitting at third in La Liga. They just knocked out Real Sociedad in the Copa del Rey with a 4-0 result. But then they lost to Villarreal in La Liga shortly after 2-0. So in my opinion, this match is a flip of a coin. Not as high scoring as Dortmund versus Rangers. I see the first match finishing 1-1 in Russia. And in the second leg, I see Real Betis winning 2-1 and making it to the next round of Europa League. I feel like even with their minor slip-ups, they've overall been a very solid side this year. And it's going to definitely be a challenge for Zenit, but good luck to both of the teams. But let's now move on to Barcelona versus Napoli. A very highly anticipated matchup, obviously. This is one of the matchups I'm talking about where if I predicted this right when the draw came out, I would have totally had a different answer from now. Barcelona look like they've massively improved compared to the situation they were in when they entered the Europa League. Now they made a ton of great January signings. Traoré, Torres, Aubameyang definitely adding to their attack, and they also recently beat Atletico Madrid 4-2. You still can't rule out Napoli though. At the time I'm recording this, they're sitting at second in Serie A, tied with AC Milan on points, but Inter are in first, only have 1 point above the two. The race in the Serie A is very neck and neck, but in the Europa League they weren't really proving to be the best side, as them and Leicester City lost first place to Spartak Moscow. Obviously props to Spartak Moscow, but this side beat Napoli head-to-head twice. And yeah, another flip of a coin matchup. You can argue a lot for both sides. Many people are also saying Barcelona fans are getting too ahead of themselves after that Atletico Madrid match, but truly they're improving. They're sitting at fourth in La Liga right now, and I definitely think better is to come for them. I definitely would have said Napoli if I made these predictions right after the draw. But right now, I'm leaning towards Barcelona. Similar to the Real Betis incident, except I think at the Camp Nou in the first matchup, I think Barcelona can win 2-1, and then once they play in Italia, they will draw 1-1 with Napoli. I will not be surprised if I'm wrong on this. Napoli are still a terrific side, and it's going to be a massive test for Xavi's Barcelona. But like I said, I think they're on the right track, and I have belief in them to make it to the next round in Europa League. Osimhen will be returning, which could obviously heavily influence this match as well, but I still think Barcelona got it. Good luck. Next up, Sheriff versus Braga. Very, very tough matchup to predict. We saw Sheriff pull some absolute amazing results against top clubs like Real Madrid, Shakhtar in the Champions League. Eventually, unfortunately, they crashed, but they're still in the Europa League. They're still in the fight for European football. What a ride it's been for this side. And I think this is a very good test for them, as Braga have been solid in the Europa League, decent in the Portuguese league as well, and if Sheriff are able to climb this obstacle, it will be a massive statement for the club. I think most people are probably going with Braga. They're probably saying Sheriff's days are over, but you know what, even though Sheriff were losing those matchups, they still were looking like a solid side out there, defending for their lives in most of those Champions League matchups. But come on, look at their group. It looked like they had no chance against these clubs. I'm going to go for a possible shocker here and say Sheriff winning this. I'm going to say in the first match it finishes 1-1, and then when they go to Portugal, yes, when they play away, they will beat Braga 1-0. If Cerveza were able to top Braga in their Europa League group, I think Sheriff can beat them head-to-head. Gotta also remember that Sheriff did knock out Crvena Zvezda in the Champions League qualifications. Now moving on to RB Leipzig versus Real Sociedad. Now, like I said, Real Sociedad lost to Real Betis in the Spanish Cup 4-0. Other than that, they've been pulling some 0-0 draws lately. Based on their scores recently, though, they are not looking as consistent as RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig, although finishing third in their Champions League group, we got to keep in mind that they were in a group with PSG and Manchester City. And they still pulled off decent results, had a high scoring match against Manchester City, for example, scored a decent amount of goals against PSG as well. Based on Real Sociedad's inconsistencies lately, I feel like Leipzig will come out on top on this. Even though Real Sociedad have tons of talent, in the first leg I'm going for a 2-0 RB Leipzig win. And in the second one, I'm going for 3-1. I believed a lot in Real Sociedad in the past. I actually predicted that they would finish first in their group in Europa League. But RB Leipzig will be a massive obstacle for them, and I could definitely see them crashing here, unfortunately. Prove me wrong though, Real Sociedad, but RB Leipzig just looking too strong of an opponent right now. Next up, Porto versus Lazio. Porto in a very comfortable position in the Portuguese league. First place with no losses. Lazio, you could obviously argue that they're in a tougher league, but they're in 6th in the Serie A. It's a flip of a coin matchup to me. We also got to keep in mind that Luis Diaz has just joined Liverpool. Massive loss in the attack for Porto, but they still have a lot of brilliant options and players up front. And Porto, despite getting third, put off very, very good fights in their very difficult Champions League group with Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, and AC Milan. Lots of people hating on me for going against Porto in the past in my previous Champions League prediction videos, but this time I'm going to be saying that they grab a win in this matchup. Lazio obviously slipped to Galatasaray in their own Europa League group, and I feel like Porto can take advantage of their inconsistent form. I'm going to say in the first leg it's a draw, finishing 1-1, and then in the second leg, Porto grab a 1-0 win in Italia. Now for Atalanta versus Olympiakos. In my opinion, Atalanta lost one of their key players, Gosens, who just transferred to Inter Milan. That could potentially affect this result. Although it was a close race to grab that second place spot in the Champions League, they still fell short to Villarreal. Meanwhile, Olympiakos did okay in the Europa League. 3 wins, 3 losses, no draws in their group. I wouldn't be surprised if Olympiakos come out on top of this. It would actually be incredible. We've seen them knock out sides like Arsenal in the past, but I believe it's going to go Atalanta's way. Sorry, lots of quality still in this Italian side. Pasalic, in my opinion, one of the most underrated midfielders. I'm going to say it's high scoring though. In the first leg, Atalanta went 3-1. But then in the second leg, it's low scoring, 0-0. Prove me wrong, Olympiakos. Now the final matchup we're looking at, Sevilla versus Dynamo Zagreb. As much as I want to see Dynamo Zagreb grab the win in this, I don't believe in them. It's Sevilla we're talking about. This is a side that's had so much Europa League success. Alright, this isn't Tottenham. Tottenham are known for their bottling in tournaments like this. Thankfully, Dinamo Zagreb still have Orsic. There was a lot of talks about him going to Burnley, but even with his brilliance, maybe he can score another banger just like he did against West Ham. I'm going to say in Seville, it finishes 2-0. And then the second leg in Zagreb, maybe Dinamo can pull off a win, but it's only going to be 1-0. Not enough. And Sevilla are going to make it to the next round in a tournament they're already very familiar with. Oh man, obviously, prove me wrong, Dynamo. A lot of these predictions I mentioned today, I genuinely hope go the other way. But these are just my thoughts of what will happen later this month. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all very, very soon for a Conference League prediction video as well. Take care. Lá com noite.